And North Leach is a very good handicapper. He's won 11 times, 6 of them last season. His one win this year was in the race we've just seen on video, the Newbury Spring Cup, when he held off the fast-finishing Piaffa by a short head. In his most recent race, he was just beaten by Lord Rochford at Lingfield, but he enjoys a £7 pull in the weights for that. Sure to be one of the favourites, number 13, North Leach, the Mount of Willie Castle. A lot of the 22 runners are in the paddock. North Leach has been one of the anti-post favourites with Tender Heart. They're the two that have attracted most support, though Julian has just told us that Double Meaning has come down from 50 to 1 right down to 20 to 1. Number 21 is Skin Deep. Skin Deep, trained by Anthony Johnson at Lambourne. Formerly trained in Ireland, he won quite a few times over there. He's won 9 times in all, and last time out at Kempton beat Intercraft Boy by 2 lengths. And Intercraft Boy went on to win at the Epsom Derby meeting, so that form was enhanced, and Skin Deep by no means out of it. And the Mount of Trevor Rogers, who's had a very successful last couple of weeks. Number 21, Skin Deep. Number 15 is the next one we're going to look at, Tender Heart. Tender Heart, trained by John Sutcliffe, who's won this race twice before. He ran well at Kempton last time out, finishing 4th to Houseguard, but when Houseguard was disqualified, he was promoted to 3rd place when the race was awarded to Blue Refrain. He went off at a tremendous gallop that day, and I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Mercer, who won the last race on Pushy, rides him from further behind today. He's a winner 4 times in all, and a very good horse on his day. That's Tender Heart, number 15, but he's drawn 21 of the 22, which may not be a very good draw. North Leach, 11 to 2 favourite, Tender Heart, 6 to 1 second favourite, and 8 to 1 bar the 2. Number 20 is King's Ride, winner of this year's Lincoln. King's Ride, trained by Bill Whiteman, and a winner 3 times in all. He's run twice since his Lincoln win, both times over 1.25 miles. He ran in the City and Suburban at Epsom, won by Sea Chimes, and also again against Sea Chimes at Doncaster when he finished 3rd. But the firm ground on both those occasions did not suit him. The ground certainly isn't firm here, and so he's bound to attract plenty of support. I wouldn't be surprised if he's 3rd or 4th favourite, or maybe even less. And he's ridden today by George Duffield. Number 4 is Old Stock. Old Stock, the Mount of Greville Starkey. He's won 3 times this colt. He's never won over this distance of 1 mile. He was much fancied for the Britannia Stakes at the Royal Meeting last year. That's a mile race for 3-year-olds, but after looking to have a first-class chance 2 furlongs out, he failed to stay the trip, and he won shortly after that over 7 furlongs at Haydock. But he's bigger and stronger this year, so he should last out the mile. He finished last time out behind Silly's Night at Newmarket, but that wasn't his form at all, and he'd run much better before that at Ascot, when 3rd to Kampala and Blue Refrain in the Victoria Cup. And you won't see a better looking horse in the field. Number 12 is Smart Set, who won last year's Cambridgeshire, very unusually for that competitive handicap, making all the running. And he was fancied for this year's Lincoln, but ran a little disappointingly behind King's Ride, but then he took on North Leach in the Newbury Spring Cup, and he was in the lead until the last furlong there, as we saw on that piece of film earlier, and wasn't run out of it until the last 150 yards. So you're sure to get a run for your money if you fancy this horse, number 12, Smart Set, but let's have a show of betting.
John, that's one of 5 12 to 1 shots at the moment. Smart Set. Favourite North Leach 11 to 2, Tender Heart 6 to 1, King's Ride 8 to 1, Darwood, Joe Legg, Old Stock, Ring It and Smart Set, all 12 to 1, 14 to 1 bar these 8.
And this is the horse that's come down from 50 to 1 to about 20 to 1, Double Meaning, trained by Alan Bailey, who's in his first season's training. This horse was previously trained by Henry Cecil and won a couple of races last season. He's quite high in the weights. He's had 4 runs this season against good company, and he's been running steadily a little bit better each time. He's ridden by Ray Cochrane, who claims the £5 allowance, well drawn at number 4 at 14 Double Meaning. There's a big crowd round the paddock. The jockeys are already in the ring, and there's nearly 10 minutes to go, but they'll set off for the start quite early because they have to go the full distance of a mile to get there. Number 7, the last one of that little group, is Joe Legg. This is a horse I like very much because he's a very genuine horse. He's been running over longer trips. He's been placed in all his 4 races this season. He normally front runs, but whether he'll be able to do that over the shorter trip of a mile, I wouldn't be sure. He was second to Sea Chimes in the City and Suburban Handicap at Epsom, and more recently finished 3rd on the same course behind Sacrilege and Dasman at Epsom on Derby Day, beaten by only a head and a neck. He usually makes the running, and he comes again strongly when he's headed. A really good horse trained by Barry Hills, and Steve Corson just had the mount, and he's drawn 1. So if he can get out, go with the leaders, he'll have the favoured stands rail. 14 Double Meaning being followed by number 11 Ring It. Ring It, the mount of Lester Piggott, because Lester's intended mount, Imperial Ace, doesn't run. Ring It's had a really successful season, starting at Cannes-sur-Mer early on. He's won 5 times this year, and he won once as a 3-year-old last season and once as a 2-year-old the season before. He's on a hat-trick, having won his last 2 races at Kempton and Yarmouth, and carrying no less than 10 stone 5 at Yarmouth. That's number 11 Ring It, drawn 2. Number 2 is Baronet, ridden by Brian Rice. Baronet, winner of the Cambridgeshire the season before last, so we've got the last 2 Cambridgeshire winners in the field, Smart Set and Baronet. And he won first time out this year at Kempton, catching Sans Fils in the last furlong. Brian Rice said in his interview with Julian Wilson yesterday that he thought this horse would go very well if he had about £10 less to carry, but the handicapper set him a stiff task because of his fine record, giving him 10 stone. Number 3 is Darwood, ridden by Pat Edry. Darwood's finished behind North Leach, but he has a pull in the weights for that. He was 4th when North Leach was 2nd to Imperial Ace at Sandown. He was also 3rd to North Leach in the Newbury Spring Cup. Not beaten far at all in that blanket finish, and at the weights he should finish.
But there is a steward's inquiry, so let's see the closing stages, and very dramatic closing stages of this Coronation Stakes. Once again now with Julian Wilson. Willie Carson on his 55th winner of the season. Dick Hearn with a 100% record now with this 4-year-old that he's trained since the beginning of this season, with whom he won at Newmarket in April, the Earl of Sefton Stakes, and now the Prince of Wales. Prince of Wales, the race inaugurated in 1968 to replace the Rouse Memorial Stakes. Winner of the 1979 King Edward VII Stakes, and Dick Hearn there. Like his #1 jockey, enjoying a cracking season. It's Ronald Weinstock on the right, talking to Willie. Dick Hearn in the black topper. They're looking to win another derby. On Saturday week, the Irish Sweeps Derby, with either Prince B or Watermill. Meanwhile, he's won the Prince of Wales Stakes with the 130 favourite Element ever Ascot Gold Cup. But Lamothe, representing a brilliant training feat by Henry Cecil, who's trained him in a swimming pool as much as on the gallops, has won it for the second successive year, and a second triumph for Joe Mercer, who first won it in 1967. By a short head on Parbury, he now becomes the leading jockey here. Lamothe was 3-1 favourite. Let's see how the favourite won the Gold Cup. Reviewing it with Julian Wilson.
Yes, and what a superb performance by horse, rider and by trainer. It was a real test of stamina, as Peter said, and Brian Taylor moved up onto Lamothe's quarters coming into the straight, but Lamothe was too strong for him. And then Christy Roche threw down this challenge on the Irish challenger Ardross, and the three of them have drawn clear of the remainder of the field. You can see how much daylight there is with Noble Saint, who was restrained early by Lester Piggott, a long way back. But Lamothe simply won't go on, and although he hasn't had a race for I don't know how long, he's battled on with tremendous courage and have got there to the line, holding on from Ardross, who is closing the gap with every stride.
Joe Mercer returning to an enthusiastic reception after his third winner at the Royal Meeting. So the champion jockey, 45 years old, in the lead now in the Ritz Club Trophy. Lamothe, the horse who achieved the great Cup hat-trick last year, getting a pat there from Henry Cecil and Carlo D'Alessio by winning last year the Ascot Gold Cup, the Goodwood Cup and the Doncaster Cup. Doubtful if any training achievement will have pleased Henry more than this. He's had slight trouble with his feet, this horse. Couldn't get him out onto a race course before today. A really notable effort, which even his father-in-law, Sir Noel Merlis, doubtless watching now, would have been proud. There's 2,000 guineas and beaten only half a length, went fourth in the Irish 2000. Beautifully written race this by Pat Edery. In this coat, bred by his owner, Ogden Mills Phipps in America. One of a select little group of horses chosen by Tim Vigors to be trained in England by John Dunlop for Mr. Mills Phipps. Another cracking good run by Final Straw. What an honest, genuine colt this is. John Dunlop there, talking to my colleague Michael Seeley. John in the light raincoat with several other powerful contenders at the meeting. North Leach in tomorrow's Hunt Cup.
The distances were 1.5 lengths and 3/4 of length.
11 Pushy, owned by Lord Tavistock, trained by Henry Cecil and ridden by Joe Mercer. Second was number 23 Welsh Win, owned by Mr. E.R. Hill and Colonel Sir Douglas Clegg in partnership, trained by John Benstead and ridden by Brian Rouse. Third, in a photo finish, was the Aga Khan's Nazim, trained by Fulk Johnson Horton and ridden by John Reed. And fourth, the challenger from France, Ancient Regime.
Pavato, 2-1 favourite. Third, number 2, Bel Bolide, 9-2. First, 15, Recitation, 11-1. Second, 12, Motivato, 2-1 favourite. Third, 2.
The partner, the Mount of Leicester Pickett, as we join Jimmy Lindley.
Thank you, Peter, and looking very well as you see him there, really gleaming in the sunshine. Hard Fought is the last start winner. That was when winning the John O'Gaunt Stakes at Haydock, beating Godsmark by 2 lengths. As you saw just now on that little bit of video, in the last half a furlong he was just beginning to wander about a little bit, but after Mark Birch got him down to his job, he straightened up and did it well. Well, Michael Stout's got him looking really well, and as you see, what a lovely horse he is. A really deep-bodied colt, a little bit short on the leg, but very, very strong through the quarters. Number 5,
Hard Fought, bred by the Cleeboy stud. It's by Habitat out of an L-seed mare, Ambrosia. And the 15-8 favourite, very heavily backed favourite ultimately, been 5-2 early on. First Jersey Stakes winner for Leicester since he won it in 1975 on Vincent O'Brien trained Gay Fandango. First he ever won was back in 1961 on the Sunil Merlis trained Favorita. Also won it for Sunil in 63 on the Creditor. Beautifully ridden race this, and nice compensation to Michael Stout for the disappointing run of Dalsan. Surely ran a little bit below his best, I think, yesterday. Number 11, To a Goldie Brew. Renewed, cheers, greet the outcome of the race as Andrew Munoz embraces her fine coat. There's the delighted trainer, Guy.
And there was no better way than that to settle the score.